In politics, what's the link between lumber, spotted owls, and Donald Trump? Grays Harbor County. Some say it is a community that really feels left in the dust economically.
The county has long been one of the most Democratic counties in the country. Yet Grays Harbor gave Donald Trump his biggest primary win in the state this year. More than 84% of Republicans in that county voted for him.
King 5 political reporter Natalie Brand went to Grays Harbor, where some are desperate for help and change are gravitating to a candidate promising to blow up the system.
There's nothing here anymore. It's going to be dead. It's going to be dead.
Hungry for hope in a place that's lived boom and bust.
We don't have any logging anymore. We don't have any sawmills anymore. We don't have any laboring jobs anymore.
Concerns that weigh heavily in Grays Harbor County. But to understand how we got here, we need to take you back decades ago to the heyday of this timber town at the turn of the 20th century.
It was just lying one business after another, cram-packed in there, streetcar system servicing all through Grays Harbor.
Back then, this place teemed with wealth. Here's John Larson, executive director of the Paulson Museum in Hoquiam.
Aberdeen in particular, and I use them as the example here, had more millionaires per capita than any city in the state.
A place rich from timber and wood exports. But what does that have to do with politics? And what made this place so democratic?
Longshoremen load and unload cargo of all conceivable kinds and shapes and sizes.
The power of the unions, typically a reliable Democratic voting bloc. Just ask Billy Swore and Mike Brown, veteran longshoremen.
There was hundreds of jobs. There was hundreds of men needed to be working these ships.
This is a county so blue that not even widely popular Republicans such as Ronald Reagan or Dan Evans could win in the 1970s and 80s.
This county, for decades, all you had to do was be a Democrat and have basically an unblemished record, and they're going to be supported. It's not the case anymore.
So what happened? The decline of the timber industry, triggered in part by the landmark spotted owl decision in the early 90s.
The environmentalists won out and the exports slowed down.
The report is beginning to diversify beyond timber, but unemployment is still the third highest in the state at 8.2%. Only Ferry and Wahkiakum counties post worse numbers.
Wasn't good. A lot of my friends I went to high school with worked at the Weyerhaeuser sawmill for years, and it was devastating to see them all lose their jobs.
Now, if you talk to voters in 2016, the number one issue on their minds, jobs and an economic strategy for the future.
People are tired of the same old story.
Oh, crap. I mean, we need somebody. I'm telling you, we need somebody different than what's been in there.
Oh, amen.
In this Aberdeen watering hole, voters including George Vukic and Buster Emery say in a place desperate for a different path,
we are going to make America great again.
Trump
God bless you, everybody.
is their guy.
God bless you. Thank you.
He knows what it takes to make money, to change things, and that's what we need. The rest of these guys are all money hungry, crazy. So he's trying to make better for his family. I think he's making better for my family. I think he's making better for everything. That's what I think.
How is he going to do that?
How's he going to do that?
Get rid of the lobbyists.
No, well, I think he's going to do it when he gets in there.
I will bring back jobs. You can't bring back jobs.
Well, Trump appeal in Grays Harbor spreads beyond this bar. It's proudly on display in parts of the county, but it's not how everyone feels.
I'd be the most shocked person on this planet if Donald Trump were elected president of this country.
Remember the longshoremen? Their union initially backed Bernie Sanders. They now support Clinton.
I think there's more Hillary Clinton supporters than there is Trump's in our industry.
I'm not really excited about either candidate, but I guess I'm one of the ones that's going to vote against someone.
Ralph Larson owns Duffy's Restaurant, an Aberdeen staple.
That's not the reality anymore.
His grandson, Eric Larson, happens to be Aberdeen's 24-year-old mayor. He's a Democrat, but understands the psychology behind the changing politics.
Whenever people feel like they're not being represented, the party in power is going to be the one that takes the hit.
No matter who wins in November, the people of Grays Harbor agree on this. They want a seat at the table.
We've been beat down pretty good, so I think we're looking for a change to go up.
I just see Aberdeen as this great opportunity that nobody really sees, and I see it, and I want to show everybody what I think we can become.
You see 2 hours up the highway, they can't even, the transportation is a gridlock a lot of times. People see that and they think, you know, why not us get a little bit? You know, you can have the cake, but can we get a few crumbs?
So what does all of this mean for local and statewide races? Well, I want to show you the August primary results for the governor's race. If we click on Grays Harbor County, you can see only 4 votes separated Democratic incumbent Jay Inslee from Republican challenger Bill Bryant. This is closer than it's been going back years, going back decades. And so we will be keeping a close eye on this county on election night next Tuesday. And we will be here at this board all night long, bringing you results county by county and analysis.
All right. Thank you so much, Natalie.
We are in the heart of downtown right now, and this has temporarily turned into a bit of a circus as news reporters, candidates, and their teams have taken over the town. You know it's caucus time in Iowa when presidential frontrunners frequent the hotspots in downtown Des Moines. Hillary Clinton, Chelsea, and campaign aides fueled up Monday morning.
Did you get all the honeybees on here? I've got 4.
At a popular coffee shop.
This is Kate's business.
Owned by former Washington resident Katie Nelson.
Can you get a selfie?
In the hours before caucus time, every last selfie and handshake counts. Candidates and campaigns know turning out their supporters could make or break the end result.
I'm so excited to caucus for you tonight. I'm so excited to have you. It's exciting as a young person to be able to go and have a voice. Monkey bread, medium plain latte.
Nelson moved back to Des Moines from Seattle a few years ago. 2 spots that take great pride in voter engagement.
I think in both places, the young people are very invested, which I very much appreciate, and they show up.
I mean, we get within arm's length, and we get to sit in town meetings and listen to Iowans ask great questions.
Nadine Eller lives in a neighborhood just outside Des Moines.
Do you have everything that you need on your checklist?
Really do.
She says she will caucus for Bernie Sanders.
If Bernie takes Iowa, then I think the rest of the country really has to sit back and say, oh, you were serious. You were serious about this. It's not a whim.
She told Sanders volunteer Michael Ferguson from Port Townsend, Washington, that her neighborhood is split.
I think we're pretty firmly in our camps, but we're really hoping that there will still be some undecideds.
The latest polls show Clinton with a slim lead over Sanders. On the Republican side, Donald Trump leads Ted Cruz.
My impression is that Ted's ground game is really unlike anybody else.
Vanessa and Danny Amundsen traveled all the way from Camas, Washington to Iowa to be a part of it.
And I'm calling to thank you for your support of Senator Cruz.
So did Debbie Sabin from Federal Way.
Hi.
While political views vary across the various Washington volunteers, there's one point everyone can agree upon.
I love the Iowans. They've made over 1,000 calls and people have been so friendly and they're anxious to talk to me about why I'm here, for one thing.
People here in Iowa have been incredibly gracious and patient with all of the out-of-state visitors, but they know that starting tomorrow, things will begin to clear out and return back to normal. The caucuses start in less than 1 hour from now. In Des Moines, I'm Natalie Brand, King 5 News. The waters off West Seattle became ground zero for the Arctic drilling debate as teams of kayaktivists waged a David versus Goliath fight against Shell's Polar Pioneer oil rig. A year and a half later,
we're putting pressure on elected officials to do the right thing. When they do that, that we have the courtesy to say thank you.
The kayaktivists returned to make a new statement about President Obama's action announced this week.
It's going to be a powerful piece of his legacy, and I think that we're all here because, you know, we risked life and limb last year to send that message really loud and clear to the White House.
In his final month in office, the president used a decades-old law to block future leases and millions of acres in the Atlantic Ocean and Arctic to ban oil and gas drilling.
People are struggling. And what they are focused on is making sure the opinion of the coastal elites, who are doing just fine, thank you very much, take precedence over hardworking Americans and Alaskans who are going to be really, really negatively impacted by this.
Alaska's 2 Republican senators quick to promise a fight.
We cannot let this stand, period.
It may be able to be undone, but the delay would be multiple years.
Bill Moyer, climate activist from Vashon Island, says that buys environmentalists time.
We're looking for a future that is beyond fossil fuels.
While many unknowns remain, today these local kayaktivists are claiming victory.
Thank you, Obama! I think that the leadership of the people will win the day in the long run.
So the big question now, what happens under the Trump administration? Well, some analysts say this action will not be easy for the next president to undo. Others are predicting a big and long legal fight that could go on for years. Then there's Congress. Currently Republican-controlled Congress could amend the law that President Obama used, but that probably would not happen without a big fight either. So we will have to wait and watch. Back to you.
Cast a protest vote.
Presidential electors make a pledge to cast their votes for the winner of the general election. But as King 5's Natalie Brand reports, one of the state's electors says he may not be able to follow through.
You know, and I'm not going to be forced to go in there and now you pick out your poison. It's not happening. Maybe this will start something. Hey, we can all stand up and speak up.
Robert Satayacom Jr., one of Washington's 12 Democratic electors, isn't thrilled with 2016's options.
This is more than a presidential election. You know, our lives are on, the world is in crisis mode.
A local activist and member of the Puyallup tribe, Satayacom supported Bernie Sanders and still does.
We had a great deal of hope with Bernie, you know, because he said that we're going to go back and we're going to redress the way we're dealing with Native American peoples and their concerns and their needs.
Citing the standoff at Standing Rock as an example, Satayacom worries about environmental policies, natural resources, and trade. He says he believes Clinton and Trump are more similar than different.
They're detached, you know, they don't understand, they don't feel what we're feeling, you know, and so, you know, by her contributions and the people that fund her and support her, you know, speaks volumes and speaks for itself.
While disillusioned, Satayacom is also conflicted because he made a pledge to cast his electoral vote for Clinton if she wins in November. Not doing so would add his name to history's list of so-called faithless electors. Republican State Senator Mike Patton of Spokane Valley is one of them. He cast a protest vote for Ronald Reagan in 1976 instead of Gerald Ford. While faithless electors have never altered the outcome of a modern-day presidential election, it's a risk that comes with a fine and moral dilemma.
I need to find myself a ceremony or two and really sincerely pray about this situation.
Satayacom has until December, the month when electors meet, to make up his mind. He may be undecided until the very end.
They're threatening me with a $1,000 fine and stuff like that. Stand up for yourself, you know, stand up, speak up. Be yourself, you know, we need more people like me, you know what I'm saying? That I've been telling people that this world is on fire.
Very impassioned interview today. Now, a spokesman with the Washington State Democratic Party said that they're confident Clinton will win the presidency regardless of this one potential electoral defect. Again, the fine or penalty is $1,000. Now, some local sources I talked to said a fund is already being set up to help pay that fine.
Okay, interesting stuff. Natalie, thank you.